Ring, 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 yellow phone. It's for you. Is that another haunted hidey hole calling? It sure is, and that's what I'm doing with this phone. I'm gonna turn it into a haunted hidey hole because that's what I was gonna do with my last phone. But instead I turned it into an octopus, which I'll include that video at the end of this video. So anyways, now I'm just de-shelling my phone and painting it with a snap. And now we're gonna set it aside and probably forget about it until the very end. Shwabam. What is this little structure? Hiya! Boop. Well, what kind of building would you put inside a phone? A phone booth? Or perhaps some sort of switchboard? Snap. Yeah, actually all those make more sense than what I did. But hear me out. This is the only place that I know of that still has a landline that I actually interact with. That's right, it's a hotel. Hotels still have landlines, I think. But you know, this is an Ashley build, so you know it's not gonna be just a normal hotel. But before we get to all that, I'm trying to add as much detail to this hotel as I can. That way it looks more realistic. Shwabam. But I mean like minimal effort realistic. So in other words, I'm adding a lot of details without getting too crazy, if you know what I mean. Like this little tower, instead of carving out little windows in it and getting all super detailed about it, I just added a bead. See, I'm what you call lazy, and I like the minimal effort route. I guess you could say it's realistic without being hyper realistic. And that's why I don't make hyper realistic things. It's totally not because I don't have the skill. Anyways, so the hotel that I'm basing this off of does not have circle windows, but you knew I had to add a couple circle windows in there. You see, this hotel is the alternate reality where its owner's husband allowed them to get as many circle windows as they wanted. Snap. And they chose 6. Now I just have to add a hole to the back of the hotel because we're gonna light up these circle windows. That's right, this hotel's gonna be lit. Now I just have to dirty up this hotel because it's gonna be abandoned, like most of the stuff I make. See, that's why there's moss or mold or whatever growing on the top of the roof. Hey Agatha, what you doing here? Being annoying? Sure are. Anyways, so I'm using flocking to make everything look dirt. Excuse me, Agatha, am I in your way? Oh, hey, look, it's the phone we didn't forget about. Man, these cats are just coming out of the woodwork. First Agatha, now Emily's on my lap. What? Okay, so now I'm just making the base for my hotel. I wanted to use the real base of the foam, but I couldn't get the foam components off of it. So I said, screw it, I'm gonna make my own. And by screw it, I mean unscrew it because I wasn't able to unscrew it from the base. And did you already guess what hotel I'm making? I mean, assuming that you didn't read the description. Well, if you don't, this will probably give it away. What's the only hotel that I know of that has a hedge maze? Honestly, I don't know if the real hotel has a hedge maze or not, or if that was just a movie thing, but this haunted hidey hole is only loosely based off of this hotel. Okay, and I'll stop beating around the bush now. Or should I say hedge maze? Because I'm making the Stanley Hotel. You know, this one from this movie that has these terrifying things in it. And they're all like, come play with us, Danny. And Danny's like, no thanks, I'm good. And then his dad's all like, here's Johnny. And the mom's all like, ah. I think she does a lot of screaming in the movie. And then the little kid's like, red rum. And the mom starts screaming again. Yeah, I think that's basically the whole movie. What I don't get is in that huge big hotel, because it's a huge hotel, they couldn't find anywhere else to hide other than their own bathroom. I mean, that place was basically made for hide and seek. And it was completely empty, except for the ghosts, which I'm still not entirely sure if they were real or if they were in his head. I think they were real, but the dad was going, you know, a little crazy because he was supposed to be writing a book and instead he was just typing the same thing over. Anyways, I'm sure you've seen the movie. And if not, I just spoiled it for you. Boop. With that perfect retelling. Anywho, so now I'm just making the hedge mazy bits because it wouldn't be much of a hedge maze if there weren't hedge mazy bits. I mean, if it was just a path with no walls, what would be the point? Which makes me think, who is taking care of this hedge maze? And how much work is that? I don't think I could handle the pressure. What if you messed it up? Hey, Agatha. Hold on, look at Agatha's paw. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, stop being cute and please leave. Okay, just a quick look. Yes, you're adorable, but you need to leave now. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, right, the hedge maze. Whoa, too close. Right. Anyways, how long does it take somebody to grow a hedge maze? And what's the life expectancy on a hedge? It's basically a bush, right? And bushes die. You're gonna have to replace your bush at some point. Do you slowly replace your older bushes with newer bushes? How often do you have to trim your... I just realized what I was about to say there. Is this an everyday thing? I would bet it's one person's job to take care of the bushes in the hedge maze. And that's a lot of pressure. What if you mess it up? Anyways, enough about the bushes. As you can see, I'm installing my lights now. And I always get people asking for me to show them how I do my lights. And I don't know, I stole these lights from one of those miniature DIY kits, and you just twist wires together and tape them. I usually use electrical tape, but I plan on gluing them back here anyways, so it'll probably be fine. Next, I get my boring rocks out. You see, I have boring rocks and I have interesting rocks. But when I'm trying to make a mountain behind a hotel, I use the boring rocks. I'm not gonna waste interesting rocks on a hotel mountain that you'll barely see. And then I just use clay to push them all together. And did you know that the best way to texture a rock is with a rock? I know, it rocks, right? And we got our hotel done. Next, I sanded the edges of this phone to make it look cartoony, but honestly, I just did it because when I spray painted it, it gave it a weird texture and I hated it. And so I sanded the texture off and I realized that I could sand the edges and make them look cool. So I left it. It was a happy accident, okay? But the inside of this phone is still that weird off-white tobacco stained grossness color. I don't know. I think this color was really popular in the 70s. Probably because everybody was smoking back then and they couldn't keep white things. Speaking of white things, look who's back. It's our favorite black and white thing. Honestly, I think she's trying to break a record of appearances in my videos. Anyways, so I just painted rocks to match up with our mountainous rock wall of boring rocks behind our hotel. And then I just add the shell of our phone, but there's this little hole in the side of our phone where the cord used to go. Hey, little hole. And I thought instead of plugging the hole, I would embrace the hole's holiness by adding something like a secret window, which is another Stephen King movie. So I'm adding a little statue of a little girl. And this is going to be the little base that she stands on. And then I'm going to put that base on top of another base. And then because I like things even, I made two of them. And now we just have to put our little girl next to the little secret window. And there she is, happily playing. Ooh, look at her through the window. Hi! Now let's just add our other statue to the other side, even though he doesn't have a window. But that's okay. I'm sure they'll be equally as happy and will not haunt this hotel at all. And lastly, I know I almost never add any sort of glass or dome over my art pieces because I think it makes it harder to see the art. But I had this dome that was just the perfect size. It was almost too perfect not to add it. So I broke my rule this time and we'll just have to deal with the reflections. It's fine. And with that, we're done. What do you guys think of my Stanley hotel inside of a phone? I know it's not a perfect replica, but it's not really meant to be. And look at our little girl. She looks happy in there. And I may or may not have another phone, but if I did, what would you want to see me put inside of it? And stay tuned because I'm going to include the video from my first phone in here. But first, what if you hit that subscribe button? Wouldn't that be cool? Just boop it on its nose. Just a little boop. You got this. Anyways, on to the next video. Hey, I don't know what you're doing, but listen to this old phone. Don't you love that? Too bad I'm gonna rip it apart to make it into art. But first, it's required. I must answer the phone. Hello? Hello? Anybody there? It's for you. They want to know if your refrigerator's running. All right, let's clean off 70 years worth of grime on this phone. I don't know when this phone was made, but I'm gonna guess the 50s? So I expect this phone to be super dirty, but surprisingly, it is not. How are you so clean, phone? Surely the little handhold area is going to be dirty. Oh, yep, a little bit of dirt there. But way far less than I expected. Honestly, I don't even think I need to clean this cord because if the rest of the phone is this clean, then this cord has to be pretty clean, right? Nope, I was wrong. That is disgusting. All right, so this cord is all screwed up and I wasn't sure how to fix it. So I tried stretching it out and then I put it on this paintbrush and heated it up because it's just plastic and that worked. So yeah, if you have any cords that need fixing on your your rotary phones. Now you know how to fix them. And I don't know if this phone is being welded together with the breath of every person that's spoken to it, but these little things on the one side don't want to come off. But this side did. And as I was taking it off, I remembered that spiders exist. And I didn't think to shake the phone. I don't know why now it's just occurring to me that this is the perfect home for generations of spiders. I mean, I just bought it off eBay. A whole apartment building worth of spiders could be in here. As far as I know, it stayed in a spider-infested shed for 50 years. So you'll see me shake it a couple times just to be sure. You never know. Anyways, so I gutted the handset. Now it's time to work on the base. And what is this wheel thing? Does that control the ringer? Does anybody know? Oh, look at me. I'm doing the spider check. And it peed on me. Great. Well, now that I've made the spiders thoroughly dizzy, I expect these screws to be crusted in there with like 70 years worth of spider poop. So I hit them with a hammer just to loosen them up. And that worked. Or maybe they were already loose. Who can say? But it was at that time that I noticed that it says not for sale. Bell System property. That's peculiar. I'm pretty sure I bought it. How long is that legally binding? Am I breaking a law? Is Bell System property gonna come after me? I swear I found it. Ignore the fact that I just said it came from eBay. Anyway, so I opened it up and look at all the stuff in here. Did you know that all this stuff was in a phone? I sure as heck didn't, but I think it looks really cool. Honestly, I'm just buying time right now because it was at this point that I still didn't know what I was going to do with this phone. I did know that I liked the way that all these wires looked. And as I was checking them out, I noticed, what is that fuzzball? Is that a spider egg? What was that? Seriously? Nope. I can't. I can't. I'm not sure what that is, so I'm just gonna suck it up with the vacuum. I'm not even gonna look at it. And then we're gonna move on. We're gonna ignore that happened. And I'm totally not thinking about a spider inside of that vacuum crawling out. Can they do that? Nah, they can't do that. Can they? Anyways, look at this dial. Is that not cool? I love it. And I also love these buttons. I play with them way too much. I mean, look at the mechanism in there. Things were just so much more mechanical back then. Now it's all digital and less interesting. Oh, do I sound old? I sound old, don't I? Dang kids nowadays. Yeah, anyways. So you know that I had to add lights to this one because look at how these buttons glow when you shove the lights into them. Oh my god, I love it. And look at it with the lights off. That's even cooler. I gotta put lights in this one. I mean, honestly, I was gonna do some sort of scene in the inside, but now I'm thinking like techno because look at these cool rainbow wires. They're so colorful. I love them. And I must incorporate them into this build because it would be a shame to get rid of them. You know what? Maybe I'll buy another phone and I'll do the little scene in that one. However, this one, it's got to be like techno-y. And anything that I put on the inside of this will just block all this coolness. Look at all this coolness. I don't think you can handle how cool this looks. Oh my god. And it's like old technology meets new tech. I love it. Okay, but I want to fish the lights into the handset somehow. So that's why I made that hole. And I put the lights through it. And now I'm putting it through the hand hold thing. Is that called a handset? Actually, I don't know. I might be calling it something completely wrong. Whoa! Yep, that's cool. But I need to have this handset, for lack of a better word, sticking up a little bit. And then I'll glue it up with this epoxy sculpt because it's super strong. And as long as I can hold it in the right spot while it dries, it should hold it for good. But as I was mixing the clay, I was like, you know, I could add a little bit of clay to the sides of this phone. That's not going to block too much light. And what's my favorite thing to make out of clay? Octopies, octopoodles, octopuses, octopussies? I don't know. But one's going to hold the phone like it's on a phone call. Who do octopuses call? Do they call other octopuses? Or do they call mermaids? Because you know mermaids have the gossip. Did you see what Poseidon was wearing? No. He thinks he's all that and a potato chip. Is that a phrase? Did I just make that up? I think I made that up. He thinks he's all that and a can of Coke? That's not right either. I don't know what I'm going with. Anyways, look at that. We got octopus tentacles. And now I'm just painting them with a darker paint and then wiping it off. I know it seems counterintuitive, but now all the paint goes into all the little dents and crevices. crevices. Look at that, we're done. And hey, I know that this video is a little bit different than my normal content, but if you liked it, let me know. I'm always open to feedback, unless it's about me talking too much. Holy cow, look at it in the dark. I really like this one. I know it's simple and I didn't do much to it, but I think that's why I like it. I might end up saving this for my own collection. Also, I just wanted to remind you that I have a Creepy Crafts book if you're interested. Link is wherever I put links, probably below. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos. Okay, thanks. Bye.